Well, howdy there, folks. This is your host, Heidi Jester. Thanks so much for joining me today. Thanks for all my new subscribers out there. If you're not a subscriber, you like this review of Horizon Beta, let me know and be a subscriber. And also thumbs up if you like this review. So we've got quite a few hours of gameplay in here on Horizon. This is beta, so I don't want to really do a full out review final thoughts, but I'm going to give you my basic overview of what I think about this game and let you guys know if it's something you guys should or shouldn't pick up. So we're going to talk about things we like, things we don't like, and then I'm going to give you my kind of general overview. I actually recorded this previously and it ended up being like over an hour long, and I said no, we're going to keep this down to probably around 15 minutes, hopefully. So some of the good and some of the bad. Let's talk about some of the good and some of the bad, shall we? And then I'll give you my final overview and thoughts and comments and everything at the end of the video. So graphic wise, the game is not that bad. It is very serviceable. I don't like this intro screen. It doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't go, ooh, I gotta play this game, that's super cool. And this little loop over. I don't like the fact that this screen takes so long to come in, and what I'm talking about is if I go to this screen and then I hit back, you can see it like takes forever for it to come in. So I like the fact that there are some varied races and stuff, but I'm going to tell you right off the bat, the two biggest problems this game has is lack of information for the player to know what to do or to make good decisions, shall we say. For example, if I just mouse over our devious here, if I'm going to play the human race, you can see I get a bonus when making diplomatic deals with other species. Well, that's great, but it doesn't tell me what kind of bonus are we talking about. 1% bonus, a 5% bonus, a 10% bonus? What does this bonus get me? You know, where am I sitting? Why would I want to play the humans and make diplomatic deals with people? I have no idea what kind of bonus we were talking about. The layout of this, graphic-wise, of the screen is fine. The layout is not very good. I like the layout of this races here because you could add races and just put them down at the bottom here. So you have lots of options here if modders make different races and such. But these aptitudes and technologies, you have a whole screen of stuff. You should be able to put these all down on the list and then be able to mouse over them and see what they do and everything quickly and easily. But this game has an issue. One of its main downfalls is its lack of information. I will tell you that right off the bat. That is its number 2 issue. We'll get to number 1 here when I get into a game. Its number 2 issue is just lack of information. It doesn't tell you anything. As far as the races, like I said, you can customize your race. You can go in. You can say, okay, I want to create a new template here. We'll just call this blah, blah, blah. We go in and we can customize. We have 63 points. We can put them into different traits and different text. That's all great. That's really good. I like that. So that's a big A plus there. I mean, that's kind of standard in 4X games, but it's good to see that they got that in there. And of course, if you wanted to play, these are your opponents. If you wanted to adjust them, so okay, maybe I want everyone to be passive. There we go. I want this race to be passive instead of aggressive. I want them to be industrialist instead of one of the other kind. So you can adjust all the different AI behavior, so you can have a real aggressive, warfaring enemies, or you can have more passive, more expansive, whatever. So that gives you lots of different options. Options are great. Unfortunately, they don't have a lot of options in some of their other things. You can see here in habitable planets, there's only common and rare. There should be a lot more variety in how much special planets and habitable planets there are. They do have scenarios, which is kind of unique to a 4X system there, so that could be interesting for this game if they continue on the path that they're on, and hopefully make some decent scenarios and let you check out some of the lore and how the different races interact and some of the relationships between some of the races and stuff. You should be able. The only thing I don't like is there isn't like a custom race from scratch. Basically, if I wanted to make an enemy from scratch, when you make an enemy, you have to basically use one of the racial types as a template, sort of. Well, you can change it. But as far as when you're playing the other guys, you can't say, okay, I want this Kantari Republic. I want them to be, metal worlds or desert worlds or whatever. You can't go in and set up all these different kinds of things. So all in all, not bad, but I hate this little load screen. Graphic-wise, the game is not that bad. I'm going to go ahead and continue my game here. And we're going to take a look at, graphic-wise, this is fine. It's nothing special. I would say, pretty much everything in the game, graphic-wise, is on the better end of good. Nothing's like super awesome, but there's nothing that's really, really bad. I mean, the galaxy looks nice. It looks pretty functional. There's nothing really bad with that. But I will tell you the number one problem now that we're actually into a game with this game is that the whole, how do I put it? The whole research, economic, buying money situation is totally whacked out in this game. In fact, it is so broken, I don't think this game is even playable in this current state, because as you've seen in our last video, I can just come here to our system and I can purchase a light cruiser, which would take me 42 turns to build, which 42 turns is an extremely long time. Extremely long time. In a turn-based game, 42 turns, I mean, a lot can happen in 42 turns. If I got to wait for one ship, one of my bigger ships to be built, and in fact, if I go to a Devastator here, it's going to be 81 turns. So 81 turns is even twice as long. 81 turns is a lifetime in a 4X game. But you can see that if I'd actually can go in here and I can purchase one of these things for like 15 billion credits. Now, I can't quite do this because I was in here messing around earlier. But you can see I'm making a net income of 11 billion credits a turn. If it only costs me 15 billion credits, so slightly more than I make in one turn to build a ship, there is never, ever, ever going to be a reason why I would not buy a ship every time. It is so broken because of that. I could basically, if you watched my second playthrough, you saw me do this. I basically just got all these forces just by buying a ship, waiting a turn, buying another ship, waiting a turn. Instead of waiting 43 turns, I can get one every other turn, and it doesn't cost me any money because I make just the same amount of money. So the whole economic situation is totally out of play. It's just it basically breaks the game, because 4X strategy games, whether they're outer space or anything else, the game has to give you a point where you have to make tough and interesting decisions on what to do. Oh my gosh, I really need this research, but if I research, then I can't build my ships, and if I can't build my ships, then I can't defend myself. But I can't build my ships until I have my economy up, but I can't get my economy up because I don't have the research. There's that whole balancing part of the game. Well, that is completely taken out by the economic situation we have going on here, where I can basically buy a ship every other turn and not lose any money. And the reason I'm not doing turn by turn here. Let's send this guy back here. Is because I don't want to get into the middle of a combat. Okay, there we go. Yeah, see, luckily there was ships there, but I didn't want to have to fight them. You can see I'm now up to 17.9 billion credits. So I can now buy another ship. I'm not going to wait 43 turns or 81 turns to buy a ship. So the economy, the whole way they're doing the economy and buying things is just, it's way off. Way off. I don't know a better way to explain it. If I go to my home world, I can go to like our introductory levels of, say, entertainment. It costs 1 billion credits. When I want to upgrade that, it costs 30 billion credits. And you would think, oh wow, that's a lot of money. Well, okay, well, the problem is it only gives you like a slight bonus. So it's not like twice as good or 3 times as good or 4 times as good for this amount of money. It's like barely any better. So like when I upgraded the first time, it went from like 2x to 3x. So I think I'm at 3x. But of course, as I mentioned, the second biggest problem this game has is lack of information. There's no information here that says, okay, well, this is what you're currently at, and this is what you would go up to. But basically, trust me, I would go from 3x to 4x. So I'm basically getting I'm getting like a 10% better traffic income for $30 billion. That does not make any sense whatsoever. It's not like doubling, it's not like tripling, it's like basically giving me like a fourth better of what I've got for 30 billion credits, which is a huge amount of money. Waiting for your ships to finish is broken because you can buy them for dirt cheap. So I would never, ever wait 41 turns to do anything. Graphic-wise, like I said, nice serviceable graphics here. There is some information here. There's just not enough information. I want more. More is better. Give me too much information and let me complain about how much information's on the screen. That's 4X people, that's what they want. They want to be able to say, well, if I click on this and do this, I'm going to get a 2% increase on that, and if I do this way and then I do this upgrade, I'll get a 6%. So it's better if I do it that way. That's what they want to see. That's what they want to be able to have happen. Right now, in this game's current state, and again, this is beta, so we have to remember that hopefully some of these things will get changed or edited or increased or whatever. Unfortunately, from what I understand, Horizon has now decided to go out of out of beta in February, and this is January 31st. So within the next 2 to 3 weeks, they're hopefully going to be releasing this game. And I think that's a big mistake because I believe this game is still in... I believe this game is late alpha. It's not even up to beta standards for me. I should say the game has been very stable. I haven't had any problems running it. It's very quick, except for some of the loading screens, as you saw in the beginning. But it's just not to the point where it's going to be well received by people out there because there's not enough information given to the players to make good decisions. And the fact that basically your whole economy system is whacked out. Ship design, I kind of actually like this part of the game. It's not too bad. It's not too complex, but it's not, it's kind of intuitive enough that you don't have to sit down and try to figure out what's going on. You can see I got 2 light lasers. I can take one off here. I can click on, add one there. You see how much space is left in your ship. You have 4 different kinds of sizes of ships. You can build these from the beginning, which is kind of a unique idea. A lot of 4X games out there don't let you just build everything from the beginning. but you can only have 4 designs out there. You can see we have our Devastator out there, which we kind of maximized. Just not enough information on what the heck all this stuff does, though. Laser cannons, it's supposed to do. We've got our laser cannons upgraded to like level. Oh, it's our laser cannon here. It's up to level 4, which is supposed to give us a damage of 20. So sometimes when you're in the combat screen, you see your laser cannons doing like 49 points of damage. And you have no idea why that is. Now, is there two laser cannons firing at a time? It's just there's not enough information just to make good decisions about. If we click on some of the worlds. Okay, so it's a gas giant. This is a gas giant. That's kind of a bad example. Let's see. Let's click on this one here. We got an Arctic Poor, we got a Toxic, an Arctic, and a Barren. So we click on this Barren here. There's just not enough information to tell you whether or not you want to go there. Now, I haven't really surveyed this planet to get all the information, but this game, most strategy games live on the player making decisions that are he's going to either regret in the long run, or he's going to say, oh yeah, when I built this ship, or I built this technology, that's when the game changed. I don't feel that this has that potential yet in this game. It doesn't have that. It doesn't have that kind of polish to this game yet. That's why I'm saying it's still an alpha. If they're going to release this in a couple weeks, I think that's going to be a big mistake. If we go in and talk about the combat system, I'm not even going to go into it too much because I've gone into it in some of my other playthroughs. But the combat system is great idea, implemented horribly. A fourth of your screen down here at the bottom is all of your different orders and stuff. It takes up way too much room. You can't zoom in and out. You can't do anything in that mode. You can turn your ships and you can click on them to fire, but that's as far as the tactical combat goes. It's a really good idea that's horribly implemented. The little grid on the combat system for the sector you're in has way too many boxes. If you watch some of my playthroughs, you knew it would take us like 20 minutes of clicking on ships and dragging them across just to get across 2 sectors, just to try and fight the enemy ships. It shouldn't take us 20 minutes to do that. There should be an easier way. I can, every time I click on a ship, I have to hit the done button to let the computer know that I'm done with that ship. When you click on the auto to let the computer auto do it, it basically moves the ships up and just starts shooting at one another. There's no tactics whatsoever. And even when your ship is like, oh, I can't shoot anymore, but I'm just going to sit here and let the enemy shoot at me until I blow up. That is not smart tactics. So, of course, terrible implementation of the infantry combat, or the tactical combat system for the spaceships. Horribly done. The economy is totally out of whack. As you can see, I'm making, like I said, 10 billion credits. I can buy a ship for 15 billion credits. So basically, every other turn I can buy a ship and make money. And I'm not going to wait 43 turns for that ship to be built. So I can make huge forces, send them after an enemy. You can see that it's going to take, if we click on this, and we say orders, move to this, it's going to take us 7 turns to move up there. In 7 turns, I can have a whole new fleet to send up there. So it doesn't matter what happens to this fleet. So I care less what happens to these guys. I care less what happens to all of my units, because I can make new units in 7 more turns. I can have 4 or 5 more ships. So you lose the whole perspective of, oh man, do I need to research? Do I need to get my economy going? Do I need to build units? There's no strategic choices, and the game is very unpolished. Graphic-wise, I think they got it there, graphic-wise. It's just they haven't implemented everything into the game. And like I said, unfortunately, what I hear, they're going to be releasing this game shortly, and for me, that is a big mistake. I think it's going to be unwell received. I think they're just trying to money grab. Basically, release the game. People are going to say, "Oh, it's a 4X game that looks pretty cool," and they're going to buy it, and then they're going to get that money, and then they're going to try to finish this game up. And I think that's a bad way to go, and I think people are going to be turned off on it. I'm kind of turned off on it. I was really looking forward to this game and trying it out and seeing if this game could be a really good 4X game. But unfortunately, I'm just going to have to give it 4 stars, 4.5 stars out of 10. So like 46% out of 100 right now is what I would rate this. I can't recommend it to you guys at this point. Now, again, I am saying this, it is a beta. So hopefully they will implement all these fixes, add all the information you need to continue to give you information so you can actually play the game, make good decisions. But if they're going to be releasing this game in 3 weeks, there is no way this is going to be done in 3 weeks. It's more of an alpha than it is a beta. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to tell you guys to give this one a pass. Now, of course, once this game is released and they make up changes and updated and updates and changes to it, I will let you know. And eventually, maybe it'll get to the point where it is a good game, and hopefully it will become a game that you would want to try out and play. But at this point, it is definitely not. It's playable, but it's just unmanageable. There's just no way to find the information you need. There's no way to make good decisions. Your decisions are basically taken out of your hands by the fact that the economy system is broken. It's way wrong. It's way out of whack. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to tell you guys to give this one a pass until they can finish it up. And I don't think they're going to have it done in 3 weeks. Probably a 46 out of 100, guys. And that's our review. That's our thoughts. That's our comments. If you have any for yourself, leave them below. And we'll have our other reviews on our other games coming out shortly. So watch for them. And we'll see you guys next time.